Since we announced that we're having a baby after 9 years of infertility, we've had so many people pour out love and support, so many new subscribers, and we're just so thankful and almost overwhelmed by the amount of interest and intrigue there's been in our story. So we thought we'd take a break from our Road to Freedom series to sit by the river and answer some questions you've been asking us over the last few weeks. Got it? Now, the most popular question has been how we met, and we've actually got a whole video on this, which we'll link in the description below. But the short story is, Beth's parents babysat me when I was 1 year old. So even as babies, we'd played together. But then Beth's parents and whole family went off to Malawi when you were about, 4 years old?
Something like that. And then came back when I was like 14 or 15, I can't remember.
So you established like whole orphanage projects and like clinics and loads of missionary work over there and stuff.
And then when we came back to England, we ended up going to the same church, and Jamarl became friends with my older brothers. They played football together and stuff. And then we ended up leading the youth worship team together.
So cliche. So
cliche. Then I asked for Jamarl's number because he was taking ages about asking for my number.
No, for worship rehearsal. Worship rehearsal. Oh.
And then he was calling me sister in Christ all the time, and I was like,
listen, I was 15. I was trying to...
You don't call me a sister in Christ. I'm your wifey in Christ.
I was trying to play it cool, but that was 2011, and here we are.
Here we are. But we were very intentional at the beginning. We knew pretty early on that this was going to be a forever thing.
How did we know we wanted children?
We always kind of knew, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I've just always wanted to have children ever since I was a kid. I don't know, it was never a question, which is why it was so difficult to go through infertility.
Yeah. Do we eat meat, or are we veggie or vegan?
Well, the answer is we are vegan.
We are vegan.
And gluten-free. Just to make things more confusing. Just to be tricky and difficult for people.
Yeah, we turned vegan in 2017. It was initially for health reasons, because obviously we weren't conceiving, so we were like trying to figure out different things that we could switch up to help. I also had really bad endometriosis symptoms and hashimotos symptoms, and I heard that cutting out things like dairy and gluten could help. But I didn't cut out gluten until probably about 5-6 years ago or something.
I grew up lactose intolerant, so never had dairy anyway, and watched a load of documentaries about veganism on pursuit of health and infertility solutions and things like that, and learned that there was so much, not just veganism, but particularly plant-based, particularly whole foods, particularly anti-inflammatory and alkaline-based diets. That's the kind of direction I went in, and then the ethics behind animal cruelty and stuff like that. It's kind of a bonus that I'm not endorsing that as well.
For me, like when I turned vegan and started doing more and more research, my eyes were completely opened, and I was like, I can't endorse animal cruelty in any form. So it's something that I aligned with, both health-wise, ethically and morally.
And so everyone who commented saying we're not getting pregnant because we don't eat meat, look at me now, baby!
Also, we weren't getting pregnant when we weren't vegan.
Yeah.
So.
How many children do we want?
All of the children! I don't know.
At least 3. We always said at least 3, didn't we?
Yeah. We've spoken about 5, but whatever now.
I think we always wanted to adopt as well, no matter what our circumstance was. Even before we went through infertility, we were always thinking, oh, we'd love to adopt as well. So we could have 3 and then adopt some. Who knows?
Who knows? And it's taken us so long to even have one. So, I mean, we're so grateful for what we have right now. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. Yeah. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. What are we most looking forward to about having our daughter? Oh, I love that question.
Everything.
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 All of it.
Seeing the wonder in her eyes about everything, like being able to kind of, just have that like childlike joy and wonder with us every day.
Yeah.
Being able to hold her and squish her, and being able to just like travel and experience all the joys of life together.
Yeah. I think particularly as a dad, I'm really looking forward to instilling really good values and a healthy masculine-feminine relationship with my daughter, and just like making her feel like she's daddy's little girl.
Little princess.
Daddy's little princess. Yes, I can't wait. Ah. What is our day jobs? Well, it's a good question. We don't know. No, I'm joking. So I actually quit my office job to go full-time on creativity last year. And nearly 12 months later, here I am sitting in a van in France making YouTube videos. I feel so blessed to live this life. I used to do anti-racism consulting and also a lot of different things like mentoring and tutoring and coaching and things like that as well. But yeah, particularly anti-racism and social justice was an area that I'm still very much passionate about. But I've always wanted to be an artist, a filmmaker, a musician. And last year I took the plunge to dive in, and so I do video editing, photography and videography freelance at the moment.
We don't earn a full-time living from YouTube at the moment. Yet.
But if you subscribe...
But we freaking love to.
Then maybe we will.
I am an actress, and I am also a body double, a stand-in. I work in all kind of areas of the film industry, really. I am also a photographer.
Beth could name drop so many people that she's worked with, but she's staying really humble right now. But maybe as her husband, I'll gas her up in a bit, maybe in future videos, and name drop some of the people she's worked with, because she's very successful and very good at what she does. How did you meet Raya and Louis?
So we actually met through a mutual friend in LA called BC. When they were moving to Brighton, he connected us and we met up and just got on straight away, and they asked us to move in with them like a few months later.
How does it feel getting pregnant after so long of trying?
Surreal.
So surreal.
It doesn't feel real sometimes, and then I feel it kicking. And I look at how humongous my belly's got, and I'm like, well, it is real.
Yeah, I'm just still so in awe of this whole experience, and I can't quite grasp the reality of it. I know it's happening, but I think until I actually hold her, it's just gonna be so different, and
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful. I think my gratitude for life has like gone through the roof.
I agree. It's elevated life as an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even just being here together in nature, it's just like everything's heightened
Yeah.
because we're just in such a state of gratitude right now.
I still don't have proper words for it because it's such a surreal experience. But I think it's going to inform our poetry and our painting and our photography and our music and all of our art and everything, because there's no way you can fully grasp the power of what's happened.
Yeah.
These two questions are similar, so we'll kind of combine them. But it's, how do you feel about having a child 10 years later in life than expected? And are you worried about being new parents in your 30s instead of your 20s?
I think a part of me would have been sad if I was to know in my 20s I wouldn't have had my kids in my 20s, because I always thought I'd probably have all of my children in my 20s. But that was just because I wanted to be like a young mum and get the kids like out the way in terms of like birthing them all in my 20s so we could just go off. I don't know, I had some like preconceived idea of what it would be like. I'm actually really thankful to have had all the experience in life that we've had, as cliche as it sounds. We've learnt so much, and we are completely different people to who we were in our 20s, and I'm so thankful that we are who we are now, because I feel like we're going to be such different and probably better parents than we would have been in our 20s.
Yeah, I agree. I think selfishly, my human condition would probably still just want to have my kids at 21 when I started trying.
Yeah.
I think if you had told my 21-year-old self that you'd have to wait 9 years or you could have them now, I would have chosen to have them now. Like, I would give it all up for the kids, because that's what we always wanted. But yeah, I completely agree that we are now so much better placed to be parents because of the experiences and the resilience and how we've grown in our relationship and everything.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't have it any other way now. But I know that I didn't have that wisdom. I did not have that wisdom back then.
For sure.
Have you had any interesting pregnancy cravings?
No. Funny enough, like, I really haven't had many cravings at all. And apparently that's a good thing because it shows that I'm not deficient in something. The only thing that I've been wanting a lot is chocolate, but I always want chocolate. So it's not really anything new.
You get to play the pregnancy card though. Now you have to have
I'm like,
chocolate.
the baby wants chocolate.
Will you give birth in the van?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past us.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
But no.
It's not the plan. It's not the plan to give birth in the van.
The plan is to give birth in a house, preferably rather than a hospital. But you never know what happens with birth, so we shall see. But that is my visualization.
And not just any house, our home. Like our literal place.
The one we're in at the
live
moment with Louis and Raya.
What are your common interests?
We're none. We're so different. No, I'm joking.
We are so different and we hate spending time together.
Can you tell? We have a lot of common interests, to be fair. I think the one that brought us together right at the beginning was music. And then God, like our faith, our morals, our love for nature. I think we've both got quite a calm nature, so we don't yell at each other or anything like that. We're very chilled.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite common.
Very peaceful.
Yeah.
No drama.
No drama. We're not about the drama.
Yeah, I think generally just being artistic and wanting to express ourselves creatively is like a through thread in the way we do everything, really. And I think that's combined, and so we actually collaborate a lot, but then also are individually quite artistic, and so that just helps us flow and, you know.
I think also our kind of lack of wanting to be inside a box, if you get me. So in the norm.
Yeah.
We both have a big desire to live an alternative type of lifestyle, one that's very free and not necessarily in the 9-to-5 structure of things.
We want to be able to do things like this a lot more regularly. This is a Monday morning that we're filming this, and this time last year I would be in the office having a meeting with my team about what we're doing for the rest of the week. I just feel so blessed to be able to live this life now, and I don't ever want to go back. I want to always move forward and find ways to bring in income whilst also expressing ourselves and experiencing all the wonderful nature that God has to offer us. Was there a specific event that allowed you to understand and know that you can release the pressure on yourselves by stopping the hurrying to get it done and just slow down? Deep question.
I like
Big question.
I think partially it was like getting to such a deep stage of grief that it was like, well, this is either my life now. I'm just going to be sad forever. Or I'm just gonna make a conscious choice. As hard as that conscious choice is, it really is a conscious choice of being like, well, I'm gonna pursue joy.
Yeah.
And joy is gonna be a priority, and fun, and doing all the things that light us up and make us feel alive.
Yeah, I definitely think it took many years for me to even process my grief. And so I think in the healing process, probably in the last few years especially, it just became an acceptance of fully trusting that God is going to do it, but also completely relinquishing any kind of control and just allowing myself to know that I can fully thrive in my 30s, in my life, and my identity isn't tied to whether I have children or not, but that fatherhood and motherhood is like a deeper kind of, a deeper state of being than just having kids, and I can be my best self still. And that realization, it wasn't an event, it was like a gradual, slow process.
Yeah, it all was definitely a slow, gradual process for sure. That came with making sure we were doing things that light us up. Buying this van, for example, we had no idea that I was going to get pregnant like 2 months after we bought this van. That was also a part of us being like, what the hell? Let's just go travel together.
And it's also, it's like reverting us back to our childlike state of play and all the things we always wanted to do. So in January 2024, I committed to doing something creative every single day because the grief of infertility had kind of stripped me of my creativity and I felt like I wasn't doing much art. And then by December, we conceived. And it was just like, let's return to the things that we love and enjoy them no matter what. That, was one of the many things that we did that contributed towards
for sure. And then for me, I took loads of opportunities of like travel, photography abroad and things. So I went to 7 different countries or something last year, just like exploring as well as working and just doing things that like really lit me up.
So we've had a lot of questions about our faith, our individual faith journeys and how our faith impacted us conceiving and our pregnancy. And it feels like it needs a whole video because we've been on such a wild experience with our faith. We both grew up in church. Beth was even a missionary kid in Malawi, but we haven't actually been members of a church since 2019. We've been on our own individual journeys of discovering God in more radical and more raw experiences. And we'd love to share that and tell that story thoroughly. But one question we will answer today is about our faith and our pregnancy and conceiving. And I think there was such a massive journey of walking with God through the hope and the grief and the expectation and the eventual conceiving of our baby. And I think for me, the main thing was staying steadfast on the promise of God. Like we've mentioned in other videos, we've had dreams, we've had visions, we've had prophetic words, we've had so many spiritual confirmations that this is going to happen. They've been really helpful in us standing steady and steadfast on the promise of God. But at the same time, it's very, very hard. Very, very hard. And there have been a lot of times where the pain has been so much that you kind of question, you get angry at God and things like that. So I think fundamentally us both having that real core, when one person is struggling, the other person can support the other person. And it's like we are collaborating in connection throughout the whole process, just vividly knowing that God is who he says he is and will do what he says he will do is the bedrock. It's not to say that the emotions aren't real, but it's to know that those emotions sit on the bedrock of truth, and that truth is that God is who he says he is.
Well, I better preach. I just wanted to add as well that like God was literally our hope, and I think if I didn't have that personal relationship with God and have all the confirmations that he gave me that this was a promise over my life, then I don't know if I'd have any hope in the journey. I would just probably wallow in despair and just think that it was never going to happen. And that would be it really. But the fact that, we had God walking with us through this journey just made me feel so much more hopeful that this will happen and that this is something that is for us.
Okay, let's do some quick fire questions. First of all, where did you get your gender reveal dress, Beth?
I actually got it as a bridesmaid's dress for Jamarl's parents' wedding. So it was my bridesmaid's dress from their wedding, but it's from Free People, but I believe I picked it up secondhand on like Vinted or something like that.
Are you going to live in the van with a brand new baby, or will you still live with Raya, Louis and Neo? So the short answer is no, we won't be living in the van with a brand new baby, but we also won't be living with Raya and Louis and Neo for much longer. So after maybe a few months after the baby's born, we're going to find another place for ourselves. And I guess we'll just see where God takes us.
It might be the van, but they won't be a brand new baby.
I think ideally we'd be in the van when the baby is at least 4 or 5 months old. And ideally we'd be in a warmer country. I don't think we could do February in the UK in a van. That would be hard.
No. I'll give birth and then we'll be in a house for sure for the next 3 or 4 months. And then after that, we actually don't know where we're living. So potentially.
Someone said, Curious if the nub theory and acupuncturist were correct.
They were, both of them.
Both were correct. What special places are you eager to visit with your child? Oh, that's such a good question.
We have a plan in the winter time to go to Portugal. I'd love to go to Malawi again and like to take Jamarl and our baby, I was about to say their name, and our baby to Malawi. I'd also love to go to Bali as well.
I think I'd also want to go to Brazil, because I love the idea of the culture there and the football and the beaches. Also want to go to Australia and New Zealand. I have family in New Zealand as well, so I'd love to see them. Yeah, so many places. Just want to travel everywhere. And actually that little slip up leads us nicely on to another question, which is, will you be sharing her name?
Eventually we will share her name.
Eventually.
But we're probably not until we give birth. I give birth.
I'm also birthing. I'm there with you.
Imagine, I'm just like, and you're there like,
Lovely.
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 This is lovely.
It's lovely, isn't it?
I love it. We're literally like completely alone right now. There's no one here.
Just us and our van and our questions. So nice. This is a really interesting question. How did you manage to have such a great community, as it can be so hard to turn up each day and be present?
I saw a lot of questions like that about community, actually. Our people are amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we've been so blessed. We've been so blessed with amazing people. A lot of it is because we have been quite picky about the energy that we give to people, especially when I was a kid, and maybe yourself as well. I don't want to speak for you, but we both felt like we were the kids that didn't quite fit in.
For you, but we both.
It's just because I know you, and just to save time.
We've had these conversations, so you can speak. Right.
We both felt like we were the kids that didn't fit in, and that like we were the oddballs, and you know, and I feel like we've always been quite independent as individuals, and so we haven't needed people around us in order to be our best selves. So I think in working on ourselves and really deciding what we want in our friends, like what are the sort of friendships we want, having those conversations together and journaling about them, writing about them. So if we want to see people who are really loving towards us, we want to be really loving and genuine towards other people. And it's just like you magnetize people into your life when you put out the kind of intentions that you want to bring in.
Yeah, being the friend that you want to have.
Exactly. Be the friend that you never had when you were a kid.
Pretty much. For me, it's not necessarily having to turn up every day. I think that's just too much pressure to put on anybody. I've had friendships in the past where if I didn't respond instantly, the friend would be like so mad at me. And I don't want friendships like that. Like, life is busy, you know, everyone is doing their thing. As long as you're checking in with each other and being intentional about the time that you spend with each other, I feel like that is the most important thing, rather than, for me, I don't need to see my friends like every single day. I don't really need to, but I do need to catch up with them, and when I catch up with them or hang out with them, it's intentional and it's deep and it's fun. So it's all of those things. We've
curated our friendship group from like pretty much all over the country, all over the world. Even though the gender reveal video, we had so many people there, which we were so blessed with. A lot of those people had come from miles away and even different countries. And we had so many people who didn't come, who lived in America or who lived in like New Zealand or like in Europe or somewhere. We've been in different communities and we've had different experiences where we meet people from all over the world. We meet people online or whatever, and just really invest in people when you really resonate with them. Did you do anything different in the months leading up to conceiving?
Yeah. We bought a van. That was a bit different. Also, I tried acupuncture for the first time, which I had been recommended by another friend who was struggling with her period. She hadn't had a period in years and years and years. And she did some acupuncture and accidentally got pregnant. So I was like, I feel like I really need to try it. Thankfully, we had the opportunity to try. I do feel like that really made a difference.
Do you have any wishes for your birth?
That a fairy turns up.
I haven't made a specific birth plan yet. That's something I'm going to be doing like probably in the coming weeks. I want it to be at home in a calm environment with Jamarl and hopefully a doula. That would be lovely. That's all I really know so far. Unmedicated, hopefully. I think I have quite a high pain tolerance because of what I've gone through with endometriosis and surgeries. So I feel quite excited in a way for the challenge.
Did God give you any hints as you got closer to taking a positive pregnancy test, or was it a complete surprise?
It was a complete surprise.
Well, you say that, but actually you had 2 dreams.
That's true.
That you were pregnant, right?
Yeah, that's very true. That wasn't prior to me being pregnant though. So I had 2 dreams when I was pregnant, basically like showing me that I was pregnant. That was before I took my pregnancy test, but I was pregnant at the time. I don't know why I didn't even think to like listen to my dreams. I don't know, because like my dreams have been so kind of poignant in the past. Yeah, at the time I was just like, I had another dream that I was pregnant. I also got loads of questions about endometriosis and hashimotos, like regulating hormones and things like that. We're probably going to make a whole separate video on that, but I will also go into more detail about it on my Instagram. So if you want, you can follow me at bethany.billy on Insta.
So hopefully you've got to know us a little bit better after that. If you're not already, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell notifications button to get every video as we post it. We're so thankful for the community we're building here, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.